that you can. For winning and losing and saying, good on ya! It's all in the game. All in the game. It's all in the game. All in the game. It's all in the name of football. Football. Centrals. Well. North. 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 South. Stern. Torrens. Westies. Woodville. Sevens. Football.
Good afternoon and welcome to Seven Sports' big replay of the game between South Australia and Victoria from Football Park. A beautiful day, a very, very big crowd, a capacity crowd in attendance saw Paul Weston lead the South Australian side out. Graham, Riley and Platten were the interchange players for South Australia, and Malin, Rendell, Abernethy, Copping and Hodgman, all playing in the VFL, represented their home state today. A magnificent sight at Football Park today, ideal conditions, and the South Australian players had had a big build up to the game, full of confidence. Mike Fitzpatrick led the Victorian side out onto the field today. No Robbie Flower, of course he was injured on Saturday. There's a lot of conjecture as to whether Robbie Flower would play or not today, and as you can see, as a group they ran through the big V Vanna. Fitzpatrick leading them out, no Robbie Flower, but certainly a competitive Victorian side as always. Magnificent day for football. Des Foster, the South Australian umpire there with Paul Weston and Mike Fitzpatrick. Big day for Weston. Victoria won the toss and we pick up play 22 minutes into the third quarter. Ian Day and Peter Marker are your commentators.
South Australians have lost their runners. Mossop against Johnson. Johnson gets it down beautifully to Ebert. He kicks a high ball to full forward, but Kelvin Moore's way on top in that position. On that occasion, he's given a free kick away to Matt Rendell. I couldn't see it. Couldn't see the free kick at all. Two big players jostling for the ball, and suddenly we get a free kick out of it. Well, I've never seen an umpire change his mind. Rendell's kick is through the middle. That's his first. South Australia needed that one. 12-12 now, trailing Victoria 15-11.
Yes, Peter, the danger signs are up for South Australia, though. All day they've been struggling for a winner and attack. It was thought that perhaps their smaller players, Michael Graham, Stephen Copping, Eddie Fry, would be too quick, too elusive, too clever for Victoria. But the ball is coming in high. They're not getting a chance to get it on the ground. And the big, tall fingers of Kelvin Moore, O'Halloran, Hunter and co are thumping the ball away, and they're clearing it with ease. But South Australia are still in at 12-12 to 15-11.
Abernethy back in the middle for South Australia. Johnson got it from Mossop on that occasion. Wilson was tripped. Play on, says the umpire. Finally gets boot to ball. Templeton on a lead. Hughes from behind, belts it away. It goes over the top of Quinlan, but comes back to him. The handball's wide to Healy, onto the left boot. You can't do better than that. Healy's got two. Victoria now 16-11. A quick reply, South Australia 12-12.
It's the old story now for South Australia, Peter. Too many of them contesting the ball and not getting it. And there's one waiting outside, the supporting player for Victoria. And that occasion, it was a perfect handball over to Healy. He was on his left foot, but he had plenty of time to steady and boot his second goal. Lee Matthews back on the bench, which is a great news for Victoria, and hopefully he's as right as rain. And I don't think he'll take any further part in the game. It doesn't look as though at this point of time that it'll be necessary.
Bounce down, John Mossop got the tap down again. He's starting to exert a bit of influence there in the middle. Bahagia, Hawker, over the top looking for Cloak. Danny Hughes will get there first for South Australia. Kicks a long ball to the centre of the ground. It looks like Danny Jenkins takes the mark. He's dropped out of the game. Had a purple patch there in the second quarter, but didn't go on with it. He kicks short to John Platten. Stood his ground well against John Mossop. Platten kicks a high ball to full forward. Matt Rendell, has he marked it? According to Ron Saws, he has. Copping it is. The long arms of Stephen Copping. He's probably about 5'11", Stephen Copping, but when he puts his hands up over his head, he's got the reach of a 6'2" player. This is kick number 8. It's his first kick this quarter, though. He's dropped out of the game. The kick's on the way. That's 4 goals, Stephen Copping. And a good reply to South Australia. 13-12, Victoria 16-11.
Well, on that occasion, it was the attack that went across the half-forward line. South Australia at least has got a bit of height down there in their full forward area. They've got Matt Rendell, and of course Stephen Copping, as Peter said, is a very good mark for his height, and that's his fourth goal. Looks like Kennedy's coming back onto the ground for South Australia as they trail by 17 points.
Mossop again, but Johnson gets the tap away. Victoria come clear through Healy again, starting to pick up a few kicks. David Cloak just took one of his very few marks. Being pretty well held by Phillips. Russell Johnson off, Kennedy on. Cloak goes to full forward on Templeton out. Out of the blocks like a startled gazelle. He had too much pace there for Danny Hughes. He read the ball better too. I think that everybody thought it was coming in long. It fell short. Templeton is going to line up now for goal number 7. He wouldn't miss many from there. That's 7 to Templeton. And Victoria 17-11, South Australia 13-12.
Throw in half forward right flank. Mossop and Kennedy. Mossop hooks it back cleverly, or the bounce favours South Australia's Abernethy. He goes for a run, puts it out in front of Danny Jenkins. O'Halloran could cut that player off. Jenkins does that well to get it out brilliantly in front of Stephen Copping. If it sits for him, he's in business. Gets past the defence, drives in towards full forward. Nailey's there, but he couldn't get clear, and I think he's given away a free kick in doing so. And it's Egan of Victoria who gets the free kick. Quickly over towards centre. Oh, flat over the top. Giving away centimetres to Rowlands. Only a rover took a sensational mark.
He's got a lot of courage for a small player. Goes short to Stephen Copping, but the kick's not good. Intercepting Ken Hunter. A short pass from that position, it's got to be a certainty. Ken Hunter onto the left boot. Played well for Victoria. Cloak up, can't mark. A ball in. Just the attack side of centre for the South Australian side. We're almost at three-quarter time now. South Australia trailing badly by 23 points. Down to Cunningham, the long handball away. Beautiful work to Rawlings. He goes onto that right boot, which he doesn't like. Puts it in front of Templeton. He ran over it. Hughes, very lucky to get that free kick. Matter of fact, I can't imagine an umpire falling for the two-card trick like that. He bent over, put his bum into the Victorian and got a free kick. Next to Kennedy, out pointed by Mossop, plays on to Nankervis. This kick's not a good one. Abernethy is led, and he gets a free kick.
Brilliantly done, Bruce Abernethy. Kicks a long one to the lead of Fry, but it's in the air again. That's not where South Australia wants it, but on this occasion, Fry takes a good mark. Hasn't been in the action 2 months. Kick number 5, going in high. Rendell gets up, great mark. It's been paid. Matt Rendell right in front of goal. Nothing that Kelvin Moore could do on that occasion. He's possibly giving away about 5 or 6 centimetres, if not more. Egan down with problems. Rendell towards the late end. He's bumming it. South Australia's second goal. The South Australian Rendell's second goal. And into time on of the third quarter of almost 6 minutes, they badly needed their 14th goal. 14-12, they trail Victoria 17-11.
Well, Kelvin Moore's played extremely well, although he's had 4 goals kicked on him now at that full forward spot, but he's also done a lot of other extremely good work, Kelvin Moore. At the other end of the ground, Kelvin Templeton has done extremely well with 7 goals. That's where the Vics are doing it. 17-11 now, South Australia 14-12.
Kennedy against Mossop, line ball. South Australian's Nailey gets away onto the left leg to the half-forward line, pushing and shoving. Platten does that well. Who's going to be first to recover? Glendenning quickly across now to Nankervis. In turn, Wilson. Rawlings, good football, gets the Vics out of trouble towards the half-forward line, but the kick is poor, and Kennedy gets his opportunity. Or Jenkins well clear over the other side. Turner let him get 10 metres. Jenkins slips at the critical moment, but pinpoints Malin. He's clear if the ball sits for him. Copping wants it in the pocket. That's the way the ball's going, but it's too high. Kelvin Moore can't get it. Quickly in, Eddie Fry, or is it Craig? Goal! Craig, beautifully done. Roved it off the back, the loose ball, and South Australia has got 2 valuable goals into time on of the third quarter. to pull back to within 2E of Victoria, 15-12 to 17-11.
Good movement then, South Australia. They got it down there quickly. Wasn't a great deal of method after Jenkins fell over, but Craig swooped on the ball, put it onto the left boot, scored for South Australia, and they're back in business. 15-12, Victoria 17-11.
Kennedy and Mossop. Mossop's tap. Wilson followed with the ball. The umpire said he'll bounce. Mayland thought he was going to get a free kick, not to be, almost back in the centre circle again. Mossop, Kennedy coming in on the check side, gets his hands to the ball, almost taken by Nayley, comes out of the pack well, smothered off the boot, a chance though at centre wing. Eckerman up there, the tackle is good, or a little high. Victoria working hard to get the ball out there. Brilliantly done. As Victoria come away through rolling, short. Wilson, the running player. Cunningham, does he show a turner's speed? He gets tripped. A professional free kick. He's still clear. The umpire's forcing him to go back and take his kick over his mark. It may be a little bit unfortunate because he had the advantage. South Australia chose to bring him down when he could have run another 10 metres into goal. He passed clear, but he's been brought back over his mark. Graham on it. Cunningham's kick, going to be short. The big men leap, Templeton up, can't bring it down. And the free kick will go to the South Australian fullback, Danny Hughes.
Danny Hughes takes the handball, gets it over to Frank Stemper. He runs the gauntlet, gives it to Eckerman. Over to Mayland, South Australia running now, that's Danny Jenkins. Time's running out though, we're 33 minutes into the third quarter. Jenkins has a kick, the siren's gone. That's it at three-quarter time here at Football Park. Victoria leading South Australia 17-11 to 15-12.
Quarter here in the big clash between South Australia and Victoria. Victoria 17-11, SA 15-12. Mossop gets the tap. Over quickly now to Quinlan, who tries to break his way through. A chance for Turner. No, it's Cunningham to put the Vicks into attack around the corner, but brilliantly intercepted by Stemper. Stemper down the outer side. Rendell on a lead out there if he can get to it. If it sits for him, he's well met back there. In trouble for Victoria was Egan. He got the handball across, intercepted well by Cunningham. The Victorian running player is Wilson. Over the centre line they got. Oh, they're running rings around the South Australian defence at the moment. Quickly buttering up is Budger. Shoots for goal, but it's going to be Danny Hughes back there in the pocket. Oh, he didn't take the mark. He dropped it when the pressure came on. Swings out a long handball, and it's Phillips who puts South Australia out of trouble for the moment, but it's straight back over there to Cunningham. He's well clear if he can get the ball to sit for him. It doesn't, and the ball is out of play between wing and half forward on the outer side.
Played very well for Victoria Cunningham. He's given them a lot of bite on that centre wing position. Victoria leading at the moment by 11 points. Matt Rendell couldn't get the tap away. Victoria come forward again through Bahaja. The kick into full forward, up high, Templeton. Rawlings was the player that kicked it in. Templeton's going to be paid. Barry Rawlings kicked the ball in, and Templeton again took a mark in front of Danny Hughes. And he's been a trump card for Victoria today, Templeton. At the other end of the ground, Kelvin Moore has had 4 goals kicked on him. This is kick number 12, Templeton. I think he's put it offline. 1 point only, and the Vics wanted that one. 17-12 now, leading the South Australians 15-12.
Peter Press report suggests that Templeton's form hasn't been all that good for Footscray this year, but maybe it's just a matter of opportunity. He's certainly playing well today. South Australia, right, he got the tap away, but a free kick will go to Victoria. To be taken by Bernie Quinlan. He's just outside the half-forward line, still inside the big centre square. Quinlan, who's been interchanged quite a bit, hasn't figured prominently. On the lead is Templeton, out in front of that player. That is the perfect pass. Race out. Brilliantly done, Quinlan. Nothing at all that Hughes could do to cut it off. Templeton out of the blocks in a flash and took it easily.
That's why he's known as Super Boot Ian. He hasn't had many chances today, but that was a perfect pass.
Templeton trying to atone for what he did before. He's missed that one as well. Oh, there's a push, and the South Australian Phillips will get the free kick. David Coke is not happy with it, but I've never seen an umpire change his mind yet. Cope gets 15 metres against him as well.
That's about 50, Ian. He's love to buy land off
South
Des
Australia,
Foster.
we're not sure of the length of land, Peter.
Got plenty of land here, that's for sure. Mossop up high, can't mark it. Quinlan obviously injured, didn't want it. Over the top to Hodgman, onto Abernethy. He's a runner. Onto the left boot. Gee, Rawlings made up a lot of ground. No one at home for South Australia. Nayley took it. Beautifully rode. Onto the left boot. He's got 2 goals now, Nayley. 16-12 South Australia. Victoria 17-12.
Brilliantly rowed, Nayley. The South Adelaide Rover, where he ought to be in front of the pack. Big Kelvin Moore came over the top of the pack and thumped the ball away, straight down the throat of Nayley, who got onto his left leg, but he steadied well to bottle his second, and South Australia now draw to within one straight kick of Victoria. 16-12, they trail Victoria 17-12.
There's the South Australian bench, and those players look fit enough to come on. Rendell couldn't get the tap away against Mossop. Hodgman doing a lot of hard work, gets the handball out. Hawker caught, and there'll be a ball up. Just a tack side of centre for South Australia. Well, the pressure's on at the moment because South Australia trailing only by 6 points, and they look as though they mean business. Victoria come away through Hawker. The kick away is not a good one. Going very close to the boundary line. Michael Graham taps it over, which is the correct thing to do. He certainly didn't want to bring it back into play from there. South Australia still trailing by that goal. We're at the 4.5-minute mark of the last quarter.
Plenty of time to go. Rendell up, through goes Riley, but he left the ball behind. Mossop under pressure as well. Riley on the ground, gets out the handball. Wilson fumbles the first time, can't get round Riley. That's a brilliant tackle. Holding the ball. Gee, I hope we don't sound as biased as the crowd does here. A capacity crowd. Football Park. Off goes Abernethy, goes for home with a long one. That's a magnificent kick, but it's going to be well offline, and brilliant Bruce registers a point for South Australia. 5 points the difference. 16-13 South Australia, 17-12 the Vics.
Kicking off, Kelvin Moore looking for Mossop. The big chap can't hold it. Oh, the handball from Craig was bad. Victoria through Egan trying to break out. Pack of players around the ball, and it certainly will be a ball up. South Australia trying desperately to keep that ball on their forward lines. Victoria have hardly got anyone in attack at the moment. Templeton's probably the only player within, well, he's got no player within 100 yards of him. There's a high tackle being paid to Victoria, and that'll go to Bahagia. The Dominion of Essendon Rover, who hails from Western Australia. Up high was Copping. Got the handball out, and missed Abernethy. Wilson's played a great game for Victoria, beautifully done. Kick number 15. Wasn't a good kick, marked by Stemper.
Western is clear. It's going towards the South Australian captain at centre wing. He dummied the handball, comes around on the right foot, strides off now, kicks 60 metres in towards full forward. A big leap by Templeton. The back of the pack. Here's a charge. Lady! Oh, he waited down. The tap came out from Russell Ebert, I think it was. Tapped the ball forward, and Nayley bolts into the open goal for goal number 3, and the Crow Eaters have hit the front in the big clash. 17-13 South Australia, Victoria 17-12.
Australia leading by a point.
Still plenty of time to go yet. Mossop gets the tap away. Rawlings go through, does it well. Wiley it was, towards the half-forward line. Now it's Rawlings who gets the handball out. Smothered beautifully in defence. South Australia through Graham. Goes long to the half-forward line. Oh, there's a lot of pushing and shoving over there. Glenn Denning drops the ball. Holding the man, said the umpire. Then the free kick goes the way of Glenn Denning. At centre half-back. Kick number 12 to the half-forward line. A good mark taken by Healy. Gerard Healy plays off. The handball is in a perfect spot. Oh, no, it wasn't. It put Nankervis under pressure as he goes in towards full forward. Quinlan can't bring it down. Who's the first to recover? Bahagia's in there. Riley for South Australia. Over the top is Cunningham. In goes Hughes as well. But a ball will be bounced. Full forward right pocket with Victoria in attack and trailing by 1 point.
50,000 people here today at Football Park. witnessing a good battle between South Australia and Victoria. Cloak, Rendell, Riley trying to get a kick away. Victoria one goal. Oh, that was a big raid tackle by Bernie Quinlan. He went straight into the back of John Platten. And the small South Australian rover takes off. He's looking for Phillips and finds him. That's what you call an A-grade bounce. Very lucky. On to Weston. Weston's got a paddock. He'll go long. Looking for Russell Johnson. Kelvin Moore there. Judges it beautifully, Moore. Got the kick away. It's going very close to the boundary line. And it bounces that way in front of the scoreboard. And at the 8.5-minute mark, South Australia lead by 1 point.
South Australia's right waiting to come back on the interchange bench. Victoria's already made one. Bernie Quinlan is off, and Doug Hawkins back on. Mossop gets his hand to the ball first. Rawlings couldn't pick it up, beautifully swept on. No, a free kick is going the way of Victoria for a high tackle. Rawlings, half-back flank. The Richmond players kick is a nice one towards centre wing. A big leap and a fine mark. Pulled down by South Australia's Greg Phillips, centre wing. He's played a fine game on David Cloak. Thumped the ball away when he had to, and as you can see, can still take the mark. Kick number 11, oh, it's a magnificent kick, 55, 60 metres, in towards the pocket, over the top, a great mark. Pulled in quickly there by Johnson, or Platten was flat-footed. Gets his kick away in towards full forward. The back of the pack copping, but he can't bring it down. And I think the ball possibly hit the post, and the umpire's going to indicate that it's out of play in South Australia's right full forward pocket.
9, nearly 10 minutes into the last quarter. Russell Johnson for South Australia over the top. Glendinning. Hodgman's there for South Australia. Plenty of players around the ball. Copping got it out to Ebert. He hooks it around his body, but 1 point only. South Australia 2 points up now, and Victoria is starting to show some signs. They're finding it difficult to get it forward. Cloak's been beaten at centre-half forward. They've got to go around the flanks. The kick out from Moore is not a good one. Hunter fell over and the ball went across the line for a ball in. Plenty of support here for South Australia. An interchange player coming on. That's Michael Wright. Coming off the ground is Eddie Fry. Mossop got the tap down for Victoria. A handball forward from Abernethy. Kelvin Moore does it beautifully. Got a high tackle, plays it on. David O'Halloran short. Oh, it's not a good ball. Danny Jenkins did the wrong thing, gave a free kick away, and that'll be taken by Michael Turner.
A player down on the outer side there, can't pick up who it is at the moment. Paul Weston at centre wing, can't bring it down. Wilson did that brilliantly, dummied well, and they go in again through Nankervis towards the half-forward right flank. Victoria in attack at the moment. They want backup support. Cloak back to his teammate there. In Hawkins, around the corner. Ackerman can't get it. Taken away now by Hawker, in towards the forward pocket. A beautiful kick. And it's been taken by Templeton in the full forward left pocket. And it's a Victorian player down. Just can't see his number at the moment. 12 it is, Wilson, with the action right on number 15 for Victoria. Kevin Templeton, he's booted 7. And the Victorians need him right now. The kick away from goal is, oh, I think that's out of play on the full. No, just coming back in time. 1 point, and reduces their deficit to 1 point, 17-14 to 17-13.
Mark Naylor getting ready to come back to South Australia. I don't know why he went off. He was playing pretty well. It's a South Australian player, I think, down.
Well, Peter, they've got the Jordan frame out there. That is not good at all. And I think you'll possibly find that that play will be stopped.
That's Kim Hodgman.
Number 11 for South Australia, which is Hodgman. And he's not about to get on any frame. He's trying to get up. And the trainers don't want him to. And the umpires are holding up play just to see what does happen. And Hodgman is down. Maybe they'll just use the stretcher now. He's talking to the trainers. Plenty of drama in the final quarter. Danny Hughes waiting to kick the ball off at the other end. And the umpire still holding the play up with South Australia leading by 1 point. And it looks as though that they are doing the frame up again rather than taking it out. And that's great news for South Australia and Hodgman.
Yes, it's often wise to do the right thing, and the Jordan frame went out, but I think they've elected not to use it. South Australia making some moves at the moment. Mark Nailey's come back onto the ground. The Victorian runner's out. He's having a chat to Wilson and also to Doug Hawkins. And this is a time when you can lose your concentration, and I would say from the time it's taken with Hodgman that it does look a little bit serious. They finally got him onto an ordinary stretcher, and he'll come off pretty soon.
Peter, he's moving, he's getting his hands around, and whilst it's obviously very bad from South Australia, gee, when the frame went out, it didn't look too good at all for Hodgman. But there's the South Australian and North Melbourne Rover, stretched it from the arena. Had 11 kicks, 7 handballs, and kicked 2 goals. But the action back with Danny Hughes. Chairman of Selectors Jeff Motley there looking worried as the ball drops. Michael Graham, half-back flank.
He hasn't done a lot since he came on, Michael Graham. This is his second kick. It's a good kick. Looking for Michael Wright. Up high, can't mark. The back of the pack, it's Phillips. Out of bounds. We're at the 14-minute mark now of the last quarter, and there'll be plenty of time on. Probably about 3 minutes elapsed then while Hodgman was put onto the stretcher. Matthew Rendell gets it down to right, beautifully under Platten. Has the luxury of a bounce, puts it up high, not a good kick. O'Halloran up high, almost eats the ball. Copping recovered beautifully, back to Platten. South Australia in business again, in front more. Breaking clear Glendinning, the handball in front of Vancouver. Back to Hunter. Victoria have got a paddock here now. That's Robert Wiley. Puts it out to Wilson. Wilson will use the handball to Gerard Healy. Healy doesn't know what to do with it. Finally puts it on the boot. A magnificent kick, Healy. And the Vics have hit the front. 18-13, South Australia 17-14.
Brilliantly done, Victoria. They set up the loose man from the back pocket, and South Australia found that they were one out the whole time. They had to keep on sending the man forward to meet the oncoming player, and each time it went over the head. Thought they'd done it once too much when Healy got into trouble, but it was a magnificent hook back over his shoulder, and the Vics lead by 5 points.
Back to the centre of the ground. John Mossop for Victoria. Gets high, gets a beautiful tap down. Malin caught with the ball. The umpire, Rowan Source, is going to ball it up again. Well, the Victorians lead by 5 points at this stage. Mossop and Rendell. Mossop got it down again. He's getting some telling taps away. Malin was the first to recover. A South Australian player tackled. Rowan Source will surely ball up again. Yes, he does. And at the 16-minute mark, Victoria still lead by 5 points.
Bounce down almost on their half-forward line. The bounce favours Rendell, gets the tap away. Here's the chance for South Australia. Jenkins gets lagged on, calls the play on. The ball on the half-forward line. Out goes Jenkins again, and this time the free kick goes the way of Victoria. And you want to hear the crowd yell here at Football Park. Ken Hunter, the recipient, drives to the half-forward line. Weston behind, gets up, can't complete it. Beautifully taken off him by Turner. Should have thumped it away. Turner into the pocket, gives Wilson the chance. In towards goal, the kick is offline. In towards the pocket, and it's pushing and shoving. And the South Australian player in Greg Stemper will get a free kick in the back pocket. They needed it.
Stemper. Walker's done pretty well on him. Kick is wide. Phillips again. Oh, he's played well, Phillips. Played a tremendous game. He'll get 15 metres for that. Cunningham was the offending player from Victoria. Phillips kicks it a country mile. Ken Hunter in front of Michael Wright. Can't mark. Barry Rawlings comes free. Gives it to Bahagia. That'll go to Cunningham again. This player's got a ton of pace. Puts it out in front of Templeton. He can't mark. Oh, another free kick. Well, Rowan Source certainly knows who to give them to. Templeton's got another one. We're at the 17.5-minute mark now. Templeton goes short to Cunningham. It went over the top of his head. Eckerman left the ball behind. Finally got it out to Malin. And the Carlton player goes short with the left boot. Looking for Michael Wright. Michael Wright disposed of Bahagia. And the ball will be thrown in. 17-14 South Australia, trailing Victoria 18-13.
Some tired players out there, Peter. Mossop against Rendell. Half forward, right flank. Victoria in the front by 5 points. Rendell can't get his hand to it. Stemper almost taken by Hawker. Into the ground went Bahagia. The ball towards midfield. Beautifully swept on by Victoria's Hawkins. Here's a chance now. Rollings into the pocket. Reston's got to raise himself to get there for South Australia. Does that beautifully. They're clear. Coming away, Jenkins. Short to the half-back flank. And it's taken there by Riley. Abernethy. 15 metres. Abernethy from almost up the centre wing now. Gets one off the side of his foot. Ebert flies high, thumps the ball away. Here's a chance for South Australia. Johnson gets it out. Copping under pressure. Here's a chance now. South Australia through right. Smothered off the boot almost. No. Comes back. 1 point only. Oh, a chance there. The handball might have gone out a bit quicker. Got a point to South Australia and only 4 points the difference. 17-15 to 18-13. Kelvin Moore to O'Halloran.
Put a message over for Kimmy Hodgman's wife, Julie in Melbourne. I know she's watching. Kimmy's all right. He's got concussion and he's taken off to hospital for observation. Bahagia into the forward line. Templeton marks, and this is the player that's been the difference between South Australia and Victoria today. He's given them something to aim at. At the other end of the ground, South Australia have had resting ruckman. Kick number 15, Templeton. And he can kick a long way. Into the teeth of goal, up high, cloak, can't mark. Russell Johnson, a great mark for South Australia. Plays on, looks for Malin and finds him. Steadying things down a bit. Malin giving it to Jenkins. Jenkins will go short to Eckerman. There's a bit of run here from South Australia. Eckerman holds onto the ball too long. Not a good kick. Ross Glendinning eats that ball, takes off. Oh, his kick is not well placed. It's gone back to Eckerman. He takes off. According to Rowan Saws, he was pushed in the back, and Ivan Eckerman will take a free kick. Eckerman short, Weston, Craig. Craig will run the ball through half forward, a long kick to full forward. That ball's going a long way, 1 point. Templeton collided with the point post there, but South Australia have got a point. 17-16 South Australia, Victoria 18-13.
South Australia lacking the method of Victoria once they go in the forward lines. Glendinning sick as a shocker. Michael Graham in short. Good mark taken there by South Australia's Copping. Umpires called him to play on. Quickly swooping on it is Craig. Picks it up well. All the handball is bad. Craig's got to go back and get it himself. Ebert Hill quickly back for Copping now. Copping has Weston clear. One grab, two grabs. I think he's called to play on. The handball goes out. Glendinning gets past well. Dummies twist, turn. He's got to be gone this time. Holding the ball. Look at the satisfied grin on Mark Haley's face. And Stephen Copping did that almost on his lonesome. 3 times he touched the ball and finally won a free kick at centre half forward, about 40 metres out. The anxious face of Dexter Kennedy, but South Australia down by 3 points, and the hope of the locals riding on number 18. Copping, head on to goal, breeze at his back, 10th kick, 4 goals, he's made it 5. Oh, the umpire didn't move. 5 goals, Stephen Copping, and South Australia are back in front at the 22-minute mark. 18-16 to Victoria's 18-13.
He's done it well, Copping. Ross Glendinning must have thought it was afternoon tea time. He had the ball that long. He didn't want to get rid of it. Dexter Kennedy back on the ground. Matt Rendell off. South Australia leading by 3 points.
At the bounce, Johnson back on there with Mossop. Johnson almost takes it. Victoria into attack. Beautifully done, Hawkins. A long kick in towards full forward. Can Templeton do it again? Off the fingers. Who's going to be first there? Healy. Beautifully done, Healy. Gerard Healy took it beautifully on the fly. Off the fingers. His 3rd goal. And Victoria answered the challenge brilliantly through their half-forward flanker. And the boy from Melbourne gets his 3rd goal. And Victoria now 19-13 leading South Australia 18-16. And Jeff, the chairman of South Australian selectors still wants something done out on the field.
Back to the centre bounce. Mossop for Victoria, gets the tap down again, follows it up beautifully. Eckerman for South Australia. Carries the ball over to Michael Graham. He breaks through the pack beautifully. Here's a bit of power. South Australia forward again, up high, Kelvin Moore. Through for a point. South Australia still in there, trailing at the moment by 2 points. Kelvin Moore still doing a great job for Victoria at fullback. With 23 minutes into the last quarter now, Moore kicks off, looking for Mossop. Almost finds him, he can't quite mark the ball, but there's a free kick given to Mossop against Russell Johnson for a push in the back. John Mossop has given great support today to his captain, Mike Fitzpatrick. He's won some good knockouts. Stemper is in front for South Australia. I think he's marked it. Yes, he's been paid. Playing at half back today, Stemper. Kick number 10. Puts a high ball, not well directed. Mossop's given a free kick away. That'll go to Stephen Copping, South Australia's best forward. He's kicked 5 goals. He wants someone to lead, putting it out in front of Dexter Kennedy. The big chap goes high, can't mark. Victoria, stolen by Mark Maley onto the boot, but it's out of bounds on the full. 18-17 South Australia, Victoria 19-13.
Bruce Nankervis decides to bolt off with the ball. He comes down the grandstand side, looking for someone to provide the run. Beautifully done there. Mark Maley had too much speed for Rawlings, got across to cut off the attempt to run the ball out of defence. They've done it pretty well all day, Victoria. No South Australian ruckman around. In the end, it was Michael Wright who flew for it. Riley tried to get a kick away. Rawlings goes in underneath the ball. Platten there with him, and the umpire will come in and bounce. 19-13 Victoria, 18-17 South Australia. 2 points to difference into time on of the final quarter. What a game of football. Mossop taken by Naley, can't get clear. Platten goes in, and a free kick going to South Australia. Mark Naley too far out to score, or he might just get it through the point post. Kennedy wants it in high. Kick number 17, short to Copping. Oh, it's a shocking kick over the top. Copping goes in after the ball, can't get it clear. Player stack up, Rogers in there, and the free kick will go the way of Victoria's Robert Wiley at centre half back.
The free kick was definitely there. That was a shocking tackle. He plays it on immediately, and Victoria coming out through O'Halloran to Nankervis. Well, that's one thing you don't do. When you duck the head and you've got the ball, that's what can happen. The free kick being taken by Eddie Fry for South Australia, puts it into the teeth of goal. Dexter Kennedy couldn't get a run at the ball, and Mossop knocked it through. South Australia creeping closer, 1 point behind. Kelvin Moore. Fitzpatrick getting ready to come on. I think Mossop's going to come off in a minute. Copping can't mark it. Recovers beautifully to Fry. Fry onto the boot.
The handball was on Peter Marker. Ebert went into the pocket looking for the handball, but South Australian players like the Vics obviously getting tired, not reacting as quickly.
The States under pressure. Mike Fitzpatrick getting ready to come on. Dexter Kennedy on the mark. Barry Rawlings. You notice the dark patches behind him. The streamers were set alight at half-time. Wasting plenty of time. Rawlings puts a high ball towards Mossop. Up high, Hunter. What a great mark he is. For a player at his height, he certainly can mark a ball. He takes off, gives it to Nankervis. He drops it. Recovers well, puts it towards Cloak at centre half forward. Cloak can't mark. Courage Bahagia. Jenkins too slow. Just got boot to ball. Michael Graham dummies well. Gets it onto Platten. Platten onto the boot. Dexter Kennedy at full forward. Can't mark. Russell Ebert dropped the ball. Horrible mistake. Victoria clear. Close to the boundary line. There's a lot of tired players. Victoria lead by a point. And we're 27.5-minute mark of the last quarter.
Peter, because of the time off when Hodgman got taken off the field, I think you'll find there's still a couple of minutes to go as Wiley gets the ball and puts out a bullet-like pass to Healy at centre wing. The Vic's hanging on brilliantly. Went for the handball, realised it wasn't his player. 10th kick to Healy towards the half-forward line. Thumped away. The first to recover there is Hawker. Gets it out towards big David Cloak. His kick under pressure goes in towards Turner, who got a brilliant bounce. Jenkins comes to meet it, throws out the handball. Eckerman clear. Short now to midfield. Michael Graham there. Oh, great interception, Turner. Brilliantly done. Templeton on the lead. Bounces towards that player. He can't get it. In there goes Eckerman. Thrown off. Platten. South Australia clear again. Brilliant tackle. Called to play on. Back there is Michael Graham. In goes Riley. Riley dog-tired. Can't get it clear. Phillips for South Australia. Boots the ball to the half-forward line. The mark almost taken by Wright. Naily a chance. Gets the handball away. Weston. Fry has a long one at goal, but he's going to be well offline for 1 point. And the score's a dead level in the big Vic SA clash here at Football Park. And Peter Marker, what a game of football.
That's a great game, Ian. It's a battle of defences at the moment. There's coach Jack Cale there in the white shirt. He'd be pretty tense at the moment. Not a good kick-off from Templeton. Oh, South Australian players, too many up. Robert Wiley breaks free and gives it to Bahagia. Victoria, a big chance here. Robert Wiley puts one out in front of Templeton. In front, Hughes. Jared Healy, if he can pick it up, he'll kick a goal. Onto the left boot. Great kick for goal, Healy. I think that's 5 goals, Jared Healy. A magnificent performance. And Victoria have got the one they wanted. 19-13, leading South Australia. 18-19, 20-13 it is. Victoria lead by that 1 goal.
A worried face of coach John Cale as his side now trails by a goal, and South Australia paid the penalty for 3 players leaving the ball in their forward line. The Vic stood down, got the crumbs, and off they bolted. They got a 6-point advantage. Time running out.
Mike Fitzpatrick for Victoria. Craig takes it, kicks it forward. Oh, good knock on there by Eddie Fry. Ineffective though. The free kick being handed out. And it'll go to Victoria, this time to Egan, the back pocket player for the Vics. Time running out for South Australia. Egan's kick, looking for Cunningham. Hawker, oh, great catch. Great movement there by Cunningham. Didn't have a look though, and the mark is taken by Greg Phillips.
Over 30 minutes of time gone. South Australia, they want to win. They've got to score quickly. Ball goes to the outer side. Stemper. Who have they got the short lead? Maylan wants it midfield. That's the way the ball goes. They're still in defence. Maylan wants to go for a run. Got collared. Johnson. Oh, the handball passed as a shocker. Here's a chance for Healy. Victoria again clear. Half forward line. Big Cloak. He's well clear. No pressure put on him at all. Shoots it in towards Templeton. Oh, South Australia, a mistake with their hands. Templeton short. Back in towards Cloak. And the Victorians doing it on the bit in the dying moments of the big clash. South Australia making mistakes under pressure, and that's what Victoria absolutely eat up. The camp looking worried. 31 minutes in. Cloak taking his time as well he might. There's the siren. Victoria have won. Cloak's kick for goal is purely academic. It's a goal. That is Cloak's second goal, and Victoria run out winners in the big interstate clash against South Australia. 2 steady in the final 5 minutes of the game. 21-13 Victoria has defeated South Australia 18 goals 19.
What a magnificent game. The goal kickers for South Australia and Victoria. Firstly, the Victorians. Templeton got 7. Healy got 5. 3 of them in that desperate last quarter. Wilson and Wiley each 2. And for South Australia, Copping, what a magnificent game he played on the half-forward flank with 5. Naily with 3. Hodgman, of course, was carried off with concussion with 2. Johnston 2, Abernethy 2. And Matt Randell with 2 goals. A magnificent game. Victoria winning 21-13. South Australia, it should read 18-19, defeated by 12 points. And the official attendance, 40,399, which is excellent. It's great for the game. Of course, South Australian National Football League officials would be delighted with that attendance of over 40,000 people to see the game against Victoria. We lost by 2 goals, but I think we certainly covered ourselves in glory. Great performance there by Templeton, 7 goals at full forward, and an equally excellent performance by Copping, the South Australian, kicking 5 goals from a half-forward flank. Well, coming up in football during the week, on Saturday, the